The official artwork for 2 of the Elite Four members was revealed in this month's edition of Koro Koro, and something eagle-eyed observers noticed on Sidney and Phoebe was very unique looking accessories as part of their outfits, things not seen on their original outfits, hinting towards potential Mega Evolutions, and poses the question, will we see Elite Four members receiving Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire? While a trailer was also revealed and maybe disproved this theory, today I'm going to be looking at each Elite Four member's main Pokemon and breaking down how their design could change upon Mega Evolving as well as stat boosts they could receive. And in the comments below, let me know if you think Elite Four members will have Mega Evolutions on their teams. 300 likes would be really appreciated for another Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire video tomorrow, and without any further ado, let's jump straight in. We're going to begin with Sidney, the first Elite Four member that you take on in the Hoenn League. And while Sidney's main Pokemon in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, the original games, was actually an Absol, and Absol already has a Mega Evolution, so it would make sense for Sidney to use a Mega Absol in these games, it was confirmed that Shiftry is actually Sidney's main Pokemon in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire in this month's Koro Koro magazine. So I'm going to be speculating on Shiftry receiving a Mega Evolution. It just makes sense to me, and a lot of people who speculate on these games. Shiftry and Ludicolo are 2 Pokemon that just pair up, at least in my opinion, and them 2 Pokemon receiving a Mega Evolution just makes sense to me. So beginning with the speculation, there isn't really too much in the way it's designed that I can really think of that deserves exaggerated features. I don't know, stuff like that. And to me, it's hard to really think of how its design could be improved or exaggerated upon. However, there's a pretty nice piece of artwork in this bio that you can see. I couldn't really find something too professional, too high standard, but I hope you enjoy it regardless. In terms of its stats, I do think that its offenses maybe deserve to be improved. Shiftry is a pretty mediocre Pokemon. It does have pretty good offenses and pretty decent speed, but it just doesn't really, I don't know, do anything perfectly. And I could see Shiftry becoming a bit of a glass cannon. It does have a few weaknesses, a few pretty prevalent weaknesses, but its offenses could really do with a boost, and its speed, if it receives a speed boost, it could be really, I don't know, just easier to use, I guess. People would actually start using it. In terms of its abilities, I do think it has the perfect ability in Chlorophyll. It would make sense in a Sun team, maybe. But those are the improvements I can see with Shiftry. And I don't know, Shiftry is a difficult Pokemon to really improve upon. A type change wouldn't make sense to me, but that's just my opinion. Next up is Phoebe, and Phoebe is a really interesting case. She already has a Banette, which saw a Mega Evolution in Pokemon X and Pokemon Y, and she already has a Sableye that is confirmed to be receiving a Mega Evolution in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, so there's already 2 Pokemon that could Mega Evolve on her team. However, it has been confirmed in this month's issue of Koro Koro that her main Pokemon is actually going to be Dusknoir. Dusknoir is the 4th generation evolution of Dusklops, her main Pokemon in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, the original game. So, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be discussing a Mega Evolution for Dusknoir, even though she already has 2 Mega Evolutions on her team. Dusknoir is a pretty well-rounded Pokemon, not when it comes to speed or HP. In fact, its HP is pretty abysmal, but we saw no Pokemon receive an HP boost when it comes to Mega Evolutions, so yeah, it won't be receiving an HP boost. But its defenses are what I think it should be receiving a boost in. Its previous evolution with the use of an Eviolite fulfills the stalling role a lot better than Dusknoir in my personal opinion, so receiving a defensively minded boost in both of its defensive stats would be fantastic. It already has the perfect ability in Pressure. Pressure doubles the usage of the opponent's PP, and when it comes to stalling and stuff like that, that's an absolutely amazing ability to have. So defensively minded boosts here, maybe with just a little bit of an attack boost so it can really do damage, would really make up for its poor speed and poor HP. That's just my personal opinion though, but Dusknoir could really be a huge threat just depending on what kind of Mega Evolution boost it receives. Next up is going to be Glacia, and Glacia's main Pokemon in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, the original games, was Walrein. And for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to change that. I think Walrein will also be Glacia's main Pokemon in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Now, Walrein is a jack of all trades. It doesn't really specialise in anything, but it does have a very good stat distribution. Its defenses are pretty strong. Its special attack is its strongest stat aside from its HP stat, but as I've said previously, its HP stat won't be touched upon a Mega Evolution. So for the purpose of this, I think I'm going to say that Walrein would see an increase in its special attack. Its physical attack could be left alone, and maybe it would receive a bit of a boost in its defenses. It's a pretty slow Pokemon and I can't really see that being improved upon either, but its special attack and especially its special defense could be improved upon if this was to receive a Mega Evolution. I don't know, it just makes sense to me. It already has really good abilities, especially Thick Fat. I can't really see that changing. It means that fire type attacks and ice type attacks don't do as much damage onto it, which it already has resistances to that, but it just makes it an even better Pokemon to switch into. I don't know, I think Walrein could be a very good Pokemon if it receives a Mega Evolution. So, we'll see in time. I like Walrein and I hope it would receive a Mega Evolution if this was to happen. And finally for this video, we get the fourth and final Elite Four member, the Dragon-type specialist Drake. And there are 3 Pokemon on Drake's team that I could see receiving a Mega Evolution in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, just judging by his original team in the original games. These 3 Pokemon are Altaria, Flygon and Salamence. Now, all 3 of these Pokemon are perfect candidates to receive Mega Evolutions in my personal opinion. However, as you can already tell on screen, I've picked the decisive, candidate for this. I'm going to go into my reasoning as to why Flygon and Altaria probably won't be receiving a Mega Evolution, at least on Drake's team. Flygon is already Allrune's main Pokemon, his only Pokemon. The secret base coordinator is who Allrune is, just for the uneducated. And if Flygon was to receive a Mega Evolution, it'd probably come from Allrune. Altaria, I don't really have a definitive reason as to why it won't receive a Mega Evolution on Drake's team. It's just that Salamence was Drake's main Pokemon. Now, if Salamence was to receive a Mega Evolution, I could definitely see both of its offensive stats receiving a little bit of a boost. Salamence is an absolutely fantastic mixed attacker, and just seeing it receive just a little bit of a boost in both of its offensive stats, just like Mega Metagross did, that would just be, it would just set it apart, I guess. Its speed could also do with a bit of a boost just to set it apart from other Dragon-type Pokemon. Base 100 is pretty good, but there are still plenty of Pokemon that outspeed it, and just a little bit of a boost would really help. Its defensive stats are actually pretty good for such an offensively minded Pokemon, and I wouldn't mind if they were left untouched. However, just like its fellow pseudo-legendary Pokemon in this region, Metagross, I could see it receiving defensive boosts too. I could see its 100 base stat increase, being shared equally amongst all its stats, but I'm not too sure how Game Freak would go about that. It does already have the perfect abilities in my personal opinion for a Mega Evolution. It's got Intimidate, which would be fantastic to be on a regular Salamence, I guess, one that wouldn't Mega Evolve, because once it Mega Evolves it could receive Moxie as its primary Mega Evolution ability. And just having that tag team of abilities that both have effects on the Mega Pokemon just works perfectly in my personal opinion, just like it did with Mawile. And I think that it also worked with Manectric, but don't quote me on that. So, I think a Mega Salamence would have the ability Moxie, which would work perfectly with a regular Salamence already having Intimidate. I don't know, that's just my opinion. However, Salamence, as it's a pseudo-legendary Pokemon, any Mega Evolution would just make it an absolute monster. Take this all with a grain of salt. None of these Pokemon are confirmed to have Mega Evolutions. None of the Elite Four members are confirmed to have Mega Evolutions. And heck, judging by the trailer, it does seem that they probably won't have Mega Evolutions. But it's fun to speculate, right guys? I guess that's what my channel's kind of based on. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. So, all in all, let me know if you think Elite Four members will have Mega Evolutions on their team this time round. It could be a really fun inclusion, but I could definitely see why they won't receive a Mega Evolution. 300 likes would be really appreciated for another Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire video tomorrow. I'm sorry this one's took 4 or 5 days to get out. I guess I've just been a little bit busy. My name is Petey Winnell, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe so you don't miss any more of my Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire speculation, analysis, news and whatever videos. And until hopefully tomorrow, I will see you guys then. Peace out.